Oh, greetings, Pathfinders. We have a ton of news today, so I'm just going to go ahead and get cracking. My week's been exciting. This last 2 weeks have been very exciting for anyone involved in Magic, Pathfinder, Starfinder, or any of the other topics that I discuss on this show. So let's go ahead and get to it. We will have our booster Bestiary here soon, but first, let's talk Magic news. So first things first, a kind of patent troll who does it for the sake of showing legal arguments recently got a copyright on their deck, not of Magic. This is interesting. I wish I could see more people in the role-playing community talk about this. I know it was just done to show a problem with the system, so there's no actual legal ramifications for this yet. Might not ever be. It's just kind of it is an interesting headspace to think that somebody could get a copyright. Doesn't mean they could enforce it, but they could get a copyright on not a game mechanic that can't necessarily be copyrighted, but on how those game mechanics, on a set collection of game mechanics used by a player. There's been thoughts about, like, maybe they could theoretically find somebody else posting the same deck on their blog and be like, you gotta take that down, I copyrighted it, it's mine. I mean, can you imagine if you were writing a Pathfinder blog and suddenly somebody said, you're playing a Magus with a fighter multi-class dedication? I copyrighted that character idea. Again, this is all, it's meant to show how broken the system is. This is not an actual legal thing. It's kind of fun to think about, interesting to think about at least. And I kind of wanted to point it out to people there, because I think it's kind of weird, interesting, neato, a little factoid you could tell your friends. Did you know somebody copyrighted how they play a game? It's neat. Also want to point out this from one of my Facebook groups, the Magic the Gathering Sealed Collectors. Somebody has a sealed either alpha or beta starter deck box. They're in... I believe Sweden, and they're paying for your airline tickets to come pick it up and meet in person, and paying for private security to take you from the airport to there, just to show you how ridiculous this is. It's at least, like, people are estimating it'll go for $1 million. If you're interested, his name is right here on the stream. Contact him on Facebook. I'm not going to pay $1 million for, what would that be, 10 decks of cards, but that's kind of cool that one of these still exists. This might be the last sealed starter deck box for the limited edition first Magic set left in existence. Who knows? Until that ever-famous gas station opens up their storage unit and finds one. This might be the last one. Wizards of the Coast last week came out with their product line of what we're going to see in 2022, and I just want to go over those pretty quickly. The big takeaways for me is that Kamigawa is actually coming back. I've been one of those forum trolls constantly saying, we want Kamigawa back, and we're finally not only getting it back, but we're getting future Kamigawa, which, as someone who's been playing a Shinto-inspired spellcaster in Starfinder for the past year, I am super excited to see a cyberpunk, kami, ninja, that whole thing. It's going to be really cool. In addition, we were showed some Secret Lair stuff. There's a Secret Lair artist pack here that everyone's absolutely gaga over. You could go pre-order that now if you want. There's some Kamigawa traditional Japanese ink styling legendaries. There's some old school Planeswalkers if they were printed in alpha with extremely awkward old school wording that looks kind of fun, kind of meme-tastic. Alright, so here's some pictures of Kamigawa. This is what I mean by futuristic, neo-cyberpunk, magipunk Japan. We don't know too much about it, just this and the other picture, this concept art here, but it looks so cool. I can't wait. Here's the other one. Love the origami Tanuki familiar. It just looks so awesome. I'm absolutely digging it. We are also getting new Capenna. Looks kind of like a crime noir, very noir Batman animated inspired kind of. It's about 5 crime families. At least one of them, if not all of them, have been... I believe they're all led by demons, even though the city was originally constructed by angels. New Capenna. We don't know too much more than that, but the aesthetic looks totally badass. We're also getting the Brothers War, quarter 4 after another Dominaria set. Brothers War, really excited to see this. we had Antiquities, we had some of it in Ice Age, we had quite a bit of it in Urza's Saga. About a fifth of the set was dedicated to that. But we've never had a full dedicated entirely to the Brothers War Magic set, other than Antiquities, which that was, I mean, that was like the fifth set. That's so old it doesn't count anymore. So it'll be really cool to see some cards from the most iconic conflict in Magic history. The Brothers War set everything. It's a really fun book if you get a chance to read it. It's one of the best Magic the Gathering novels ever written. It is what started the whole shebang. It is Urza and Yawgmoth, Mishra. It's like the crucible story for Magic the Gathering, and in its core setting. Here we have Mishra and Urza battling it out. I suppose that would be in Yavimaya. It's going to be cool. It's just going to be a big nostalgia trip. It's great to see with this product loadout that we're getting some of the new, some of the old, and some of the just far out. And by far out, I mean we are getting the fourth unset in 2022, I believe. Unfinity. We don't know much else about it. Based on the name, I have a weird suspicion, and this is pure speculation, that it could be like a mystery booster thing where back in the 90s, there was an attempt to make a card game that didn't release in scheduled sets, but instead just had printings called Rolling Thunder, kind of like that. I could almost see this being something where they'll just keep releasing Unfinity with randomly sprinkling in new cards every once in a while, and rotating cards in and out, kind of like mystery boosters. That would be kind of an interesting way to see it done. Most likely it's not that, though. This is just me thinking, what could Unfinity mean? Don't know. Definitely looks kooky, definitely is in the spirit of an unset, and I can't wait to see what is in it. Of course, it could be, we'll get to that later. Commander collection. These are just some Commander staples. The collections are for different monocolors, which is great, because that's what Commander players are looking for. Really hoping to see some, I think they're all reprints, which is a little disappointing because I'm really hoping to see some monocolor support in Commander. That's really what the game needs right now. Anyway, just my opinion. All right, this is for a collection of Commander sets all set in Faerun. I love seeing that they're doing the collections of outside the Magic canon as Commander decks, not as booster packs. I think that's a really wise way to go about it, especially with something like Forgotten Realms that's pretty much Magic anyway. I'm not too thrilled about the Magic the Gathering Warhammer 40k mix, but I don't think that, but they are putting a special, there's going to be Magic the Gathering Warhammer 40k Commander decks coming out next in 2022. They are Commander decks only, so no booster packs. They have a little bug on them to indicate that they're like expanded Universes Beyond cards, and I think most play groups are going to say no Universe Beyond cards, like they do with Uncards. I mean, technically Uncards are legal in Commander, but they're not legal in Commander. Nobody allows Uncards at their table, and I think this is kind of going to go that way. There are some cards. There's a Secret Lair Street Fighter coming out that will have unique cards, but it is a Secret Lair, so it's just 5 cards, and frankly, I could see Chun-Li in a Magic the Gathering fight. That wouldn't be that crazy. There's been some talk, rumors, that she'll have multi-kicker. I certainly hope so. There's also going to be Fortnite. Now, these are not unique cards. Gotta say that right. You cannot play unique Fortnite cards. These are just Fortnite skins on 5 existing cards. Only 5 of them. It's the equivalent of custom art. I won't be getting them. Some people might. Whatever. There will also be a Lord of the Rings Universes Beyond. Now, this is a limited edition draft set, meant to be drafted by itself. I'm not that upset about a bunch of Lord of the Rings cards being made because, like with Forgotten Realms, Lord of the Rings is pretty easy to see as a Magic world. I mean, it wouldn't be that crazy if Chandra planeswalked to Middle-earth. It'd be like, okay, there's dragons, there's elves. That's fine. It's high fantasy. Or middle fantasy. Great. So, that does it for Magic the Gathering news. There was a lot to take in, and I want to get over that soon, because I have some Pathfinder news. And that, I know, is what will interest a lot more of my viewers, if I know those viewers. So first, there is a new class playtest coming soon. Want to say mid-September. We'll at least know what the classes are. Probably a Gen Con announcement, I believe. We don't know what the classes are. This artwork is the same art they used for the Magus and Summoner, so don't go thinking it's a Warlord or something, because this is just their playtest artwork. A lot of speculation, a lot of people thinking it might be the Occult, some people thinking if it's a Warrior book, because we just got a bunch of Magic books. My craziest prediction that I personally have is that it could be a Solarian and a Kineticist. Ooh, that might be kind of neat. I think it'd be kind of neat to see a PF2 Solarian. And it would be cool to have that kind of, you could play the range or you could play the melee option of energy weapons. I like the idea. There's no evidence of that, and I have no special insight on that. We just know that there's 2 new classes coming out, which, we were assuming that we were going to see new classes. So Knights of Last Wall was announced. Pathfinder Lost Omens. Love it. I love the whole Knights of Last Wall motif. My first PFS character is not a Last Wall. There's bound to be a lot of really cool stuff in there for warriors and fighters, which, again, is something we've desperately needed after, it feels like magic has been the theme of the last 4 or 5 months of releases. We also got talking more anti-magic. Punks in a Powder Keg, Outlaws of Alkenstar is the next Pathfinder 2 adventure path. The first book is by Vanessa Hoskins, and I can't wait to see it. I think it's coming out in April. Alkenstar is the kind of weird Wild West in the Mana Wastes. Magic doesn't work in half the city and might work crazy in the other half, place where firearms are most prevalent out of anywhere else in Golarion. So this is definitely cool, coming out on the heels of Guns and Gears. Everyone I've talked to so far has been super excited about it. Even people who are fairly skeptical about AP ideas have been like, whoa, Alkenstar AP, aw yeah. It looks like it's gonna be fun. Great. Gen Con's coming up soon. Just 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have Gen Con. I'm personally looking forward to this cute-looking Leshy adventure called Understories. It will be showing off the Botanical Bestiary Kickstarter I've loved the idea of. I'm sure we're all going to love it when we get it. There's a lot more stuff going on at Gen Con. Go to paizo.com/GenCon and check out their streaming schedule, because there will be releases. There will probably be Discords full of people having fun talking to each other, and you should just check it out. If you are if you go to the Pathfinder 2E subreddit, recently, Paizo staff has posted this request asking, what are you most interested in out of these options that will be previewed on the Gen Con online panels for Guns and Gears? Do you want to see siege weapons, combination weapons, or beast guns? So we're not 100% sure what any of that means, but the thread is full of awesome speculation and really cool ideas. Somebody pointed out, siege weapons. I could use the Battle Zoo Bestiary and play a dragon who wields a siege weapon, which that idea alone got me really excited to want to make that an NPC. Talking about it, Battle Zoo Bestiary, the Kickstarter started today, and if you back the Kickstarter within the next 24 hours from the time it started, you will get a bonus dice bag / scroll that looks really nifty. And since you're probably going to back it anyway because it's like the hottest Pathfinder 2 Kickstarter I've seen in memory, back it. The central book is a bestiary with a lot of stuff from RPG Superstar winners. There is also a new base class that could use monster abilities, and there is an ancestry book where you can play a dragon, a full-fledged dragon, not a dragonkin. In addition to a long adventure, 3 adventure path kind of thing, Jewel of Indigo Isles, which I didn't back, but bless you, the authors for it look amazing. I'm now thinking of adding it to the card as I talk about it some more. We'll see in a couple of weeks how I feel about it, but I have nothing against it. It looks awesome. The whole thing looks amazing. The authors, you got Mark Seitfer, you got Linda Zaya Palmer, you got Ron Lundeen, I believe, worked also on the adventure. Then you got all the great superstar authors working on this, all the Roll for Combat people. This looks awesome. This, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be my Bestiary 4. 4, right? Yeah, 4. Thank you. All right. So, and this is really big. I put this meme on here just to remind myself about this. Battles Through Bestiary is in talks with Path Builder. I mean, there's a base class in there. There's going to be more character options in there, plus monsters. There's nothing firm, but the idea of a third-party product getting Path Builder support is huge, because the best argument I have heard against playing with third-party has been, well, I can't use Path Builder for it. Which, okay, if you're that reliant on Path Builder, which I get, it's a great program, okay. But the idea that Path Builder might open up to some third-party support would be awesome, and I really, really, really hope it goes well. Because that's what we need more of, just more content, more content, more content. I'm all for it, because this system is so modular that the content probably won't overfill it. We'll see. In 2 years, I'll probably be coming back going, there's too many feats. No. All right. So, I recently backed this. It's still up there. So if you want a bunch of Kitsune miniatures and Kitsune themed miniatures, like the Avatar of Inari or just some really cool nine-tailed foxes, go check out Kitsune Clan of the Scarlet Forest by Sigmund Games. It is a faction of their upcoming miniature war game, but I am just getting them to use them in Pathfinder and other assorted tabletop role-playing games. Stan is also having a Kickstarter for his Creatures and Competitions Fantastical Athletic Art Book to commemorate the Olympics. He spent every day during the month of July, he sketched live these amazing fantasy sketches of these great, great fantasy creatures doing all these different Olympic events. He'll be adding in a whole bunch more to this Kickstarter, and they're just so wholesome and awesome, and I love his style. He's a great guy. I love it. So go check it out. His art is absolutely iconic, is all I could say. Like, I can't see it and not be like, that's by Stan, isn't it? It is. But, you know, Dragon Magazine, etc., etc. Niobe Endura, another Kickstarter. This one for the Niobe franchise. It comes with a Pathfinder, the Omdura class in the Niobe Pathfinder player companion. It's not officially called player companion. I'm gonna say campaign companion. So this is a kind of neat Paizo worked on kind of maybe project. Definitely supported by Paizo in many ways. And if you weren't around for the Vampire Hunter book, that is very sought after, and this is in the same light. So if you want another base class for first edition Pathfinder, I really suggest you check it out, because frankly, I love the Omdora. I think it's a really cool class. It does a lot of neat stuff. While it might not necessarily fill its own niche, it doesn't need to, because I just find it a little more interesting than the Inquisitor. I'm sorry. It's kind of a divine warrior. You could check it out on D20 PFSRD. It's up on there. But if you want the actual book, you know, it's always great to see that level of support. All right. And with Pathfinder news, I do have some personal Pathfinder news that I'm putting under Dustin news, because this is stuff I've worked on or am somewhat associated with, and I want people to know that as a broad category, so that I'm not called out for being biased, because we're all biased, and I'm kind of biased too. So Boracubos Kickstarter, it's funded, it's great, it's Latin American monsters and adventures, spells and other stuff. It is awesome. I helped convert some of these stuff to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but I would back it regardless, and I love having additional bestiaries and player options, including the shaman base class, which I'm really excited to see. Actually, I really was hoping I could get on writing that myself, but by the time I learned about this, it was already done, so oh well. But the shaman is in there. While I've not worked on it, shaman's in there. Yes. Glad to see some shamanic support. Playable Ancestry Sphinx is out if you're a 52 and 52 subscriber. If you're not, go check out 52 and 52. I have some books in there as well. It's Owen Casey Stevens' big project. I believe 28 of the books are out right now, which even now means you're paying $50 for 28 books in 4 different systems. So that's over 100 books if you play all 4 systems. It's awesome. Pathfinder 2, Pathfinder 1, Starfinder, 5e. Check it out. And there will be 52 books when we get there. I've released my second article for Adjusting Extreme Encounters. It's about making CR high challenge rating creatures in Pathfinder 2nd Edition defeatable without lowering them to the point of why aren't we just fighting someone of our CR? No, it adjusts their critical hits and it adjusts their defenses in such a way that players will be able to compete with them without getting utterly wrecked, because that's what we don't want to see. Finally, Paint Night is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Right at this time, we will be on No Directions Discord painting miniatures together, talking about nerdy stuff. It will be a Geek Together, so it's in the Geek Together channel in the No Direction Discord. Check it out. Prime your minis tonight so that you could paint with them tomorrow and have a great time. And finally, I am also looking to do a Geek Together on No Direction. I will advertise it on my Facebook, but it will be streamed on No Direction. It will be doing encounters, making maps, and getting ideas and suggestions from everyone who wants to be a part of this, as I am running my Where There's Smoke Firefighters of Absalom campaign. And I need some kind of generic emergencies that the firefighters PCs can be called to at random intervals. And I would love people to be there to help me think of ways to torment Alexander Agunas and all my other players who will be battling those flames. Without further ado, however, we have ourselves the Booster Bestiary. It could be a little bit longer show tonight, but that's fine. So I'm doing all Magic packs in kind of celebration of all the Magic news. Just going to roll a d6 here, count clockwise. We got a 4. That will be Called Helm. So for those who don't know, with Booster Bestiary, I open a pack. We choose a monster if someone in chat wants to call one out. And we make a Pathfinder 2nd Edition monster based on whatever it is I get. Alright. So, let's see here. Seize the Spoils is unfortunately not a monster. Gold Maw Champion, we got a Dwarf Warrior that taps creatures and takes down Frost Giant with a spoon. Kind of fun, kind of fun. We got another non-creature. Here we got a Changeling. Alright, so we got a Changeling that turns into different creatures and can power people up. Kind of cool, kind of cool. Another non-creature, here we got ourselves Elderleaf Mentor. This is an elf that leads another elf. I could kind of do something with that, but maybe not. Bound in Gold, another non-creature. Raven Form. That would just be a baleful polymorph, wouldn't it? Spirit of Aldengard. Enters the battlefield, search your deck for a snowland card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Gets +1 for every snow permanent. I like that. A Spirit Bear that does stuff with snow. Ooh, but here we got a legend. So I'm thinking with the Spirit Bear, just to let you in while I'm looking at these cards, thinking of which one to pick, because that's the current winner. Spirit Bear, I'm thinking already of it coming out and having an aura of cold that dumps snow everywhere and makes things difficulty terrain, but gets buffed when there's snow around. I don't know. Nafri makes snow creatures and zombies bigger, and he comes back from the dead. I'm seeing something here. Forfeited the warmth of life for cold. I'm maybe seeing something here, but I'm feeling more with the... Ooh, what's this? Vega the Watcher. We got an Owl Spirit. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. With that, we'd have to focus on when innate spells are cast, I think it would be. Because it wouldn't count in normal spell casting. So whenever a spell is activated other than being cast from a slot... Well, that would be cantrips, too. You wouldn't count cantrips. Yeah, whenever an innate spell is used, it would do stuff. Maybe not. Ooh, I really needed this card, so that's why I'm so excited to see it. Goldspan Dragon. Whenever he attacks or becomes the target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have sacrifice, add 2 mana of any color. So it literally makes gold. He makes gold when he attacks, he makes gold. I like this a lot. I think I'm sticking with this unless we see... Foil Bloodsky Massacre is really pretty, isn't it? That is pretty. And one of those. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Goldspan Dragon. I think that's really neat. Maybe not as neat as the bear, but I think it's neat. And I'm the one who gets to choose because I don't have any suggestions in chat right now, which is fine. Plus, who doesn't want a big red dragon? Who doesn't want a big red dragon? Copy image, dress. All right, let's get ourselves hooked up here. This is not the right dragon. That is a non-existent Dreamcast dragon. There we go. Gold span dragon. All right. So the best way to start when making a monster in Pathfinder is to look for a similar monster, which is really easy to do here because it's a red dragon. There's a lot of red dragons we get to choose from. So this is a casting cost 5 for a 4/4. There are bigger dragons. I wouldn't make him like a worm. I think adult would be good enough. That would be level 14. Ancient is 19. Red dragon young would be 10. Maybe young actually. I know I'm leaning toward the lower CR simply because I want to use them sooner in my own games. So adult red dragons versus young red dragons. Yeah, I think we can make him young red dragon. So the easiest way to do that here in Pathfinder monster tools is you could go to the menu and you could just go, is it duplicate monster? No, it is... Sorry, monster image. I think it's monster image URL, and then you copy and paste from AOM. No, that's literally for an image. All right, you go. Yes, open URL. And you type in red dragon, adult. Let's go to young. So what you could do here is you could use load URL to load the monster, who you're basing your monster off, and it will fill it out for you, which makes the whole process so much better. All right, so here we have it. So gold span dragon. Man, let's look at that art just a little bit more closely, shall we? Let's look there. Let's look there. That is a really, 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 really pretty little lattice he made there. Gold span dragon. I'm just letting ideas come to me now. Flying haste. He is big. He is fast. Young red dragon. Shivan dragon was a 4/4. No, Shivan dragon was a 5/5. So maybe he's a little weaker than a normal young red dragon. Would he still be chaotic when he's all about treasure? Yeah, he's still a red dragon. He is just a gold span red dragon. All right, let's go ahead and do that then. So here we have gold span dragon. Oh, sorry, got a message. Nope. All right. So gold span dragon, CR10, perception plus 20, dark vision, sense, smoke vision. I don't think he would have smoke vision if he doesn't breathe fire. I don't want this guy to breathe fire, but we'll get to that later. Just smoke vision. I think I will give him, do they? Yes, they do. I will give him gold vision, and I will explain what that is in the notes when we get there. Special abilities. Gold vision. Gold vision. A gold span dragon ignores the concealed condition of creatures within. I'm gonna get gold vision 60 feet. Gold span dragon ignores the concealed condition of creatures carrying more than 100 gold pieces worth of gold. There we go. Carrying gold weighing an equivalent of 100 gold pieces. There we go. Now remember, gold 100 gold pieces in Pathfinder 2 is like 1,000 gold pieces in Pathfinder 1. So frankly, if your characters are running around with that much gold, it probably means they just robbed this poor dragon. So I am not too concerned about that balance-wise. And this is such a niche ability, especially when it can't belch out smoke. It's pretty niche, but I think it's flavorful and neat. So unlike a normal young red dragon, I'm going to give this guy a little less strength. And make up for it with a little bit more intelligence. I didn't realize these had such low intelligence. Man. So he's a little smarter than a red dragon, but he is a little less strong, which very relevant, actually. We stopped thinking about it. I might have to adjust that CR. No, I don't. This is fine. All right, so armor class, that's good. Fort, reflex, will, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I'm going to give this guy, what does he have for weaknesses and immunities? I thought they usually had, I'm sure that they usually had a immunity. I don't know why that didn't transfer over from AON. But I am going to go ahead and give him a 13 resistance. So resist 13 gold. Which, yes, gold doesn't come up often as a type of damage. Gold weapons. I think I should say gold. I'll just say gold. People know what that means. By gold, I mean weapons, spells that conjure gold, using that new magnetic blast ability with a piece of gold. Not going to hurt this dragon very much. He loves gold. He's made of gold. He loves gold. I was just watching Austin Powers the other day. All right. So what else do we have here? Let's go ahead and give him crafting. So I'm going to give him a very nice. Let's give him a 20 in crafting, 20 in deception, 20 in diplomacy, and make up that by only giving him a 21 in athletics. And that would be good. Oh, and this will give him a 20 in intimidate. He's not as intimidating as a red dragon, because they're known to be intelligent. They're a little bit more wildly than just I breathe a lot of fire. Which, yes, I'm kind of basing him off, comparing him to Shivan Dragon or any of the other 5/5 flyers for 5 or 6 in Magic. But, there we have it. All right. Items. Under items, I'm actually going to put... I don't need to put how much substantial wealth he has. That's fine. All right, so let's go ahead. Actually, yeah, I do. Let's under items put 1,000 gold pieces ingested. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Let's just put 1,000 gold pieces. They'll understand suggested pretty soon when I get to that. All right, so under jaws, he will still be doing fire damage with those jaws. The attack is going to be a little bit lower. The damage will also be just a skosh bit lower. But we are fine with that. We are going to be fine with that. You'll see. You'll see. You'll all see. That's lower the damage on the claw. Lower the attack value on the claw. Lower that damage on that tail. Lower the damage on that tail. But I am going to increase. I'm going to give the wing plus 2d6. I'm going to call it Goldfire. And we are going to make that a thing. I'm going to make a new damage type on this creature called Goldfire. And we are going to... Maybe I should call it Smelted Gold. Smelt gold, smelt, plus 2d6 smelt damage. Yeah, we're just going to say Goldfire for now. I'll probably change that later to smelt. Something to do with smelting. He'll have Detect Magic. He'll have Read Aura. That is fine. That is fine. Young Red Dragons normally only have those anyway. Draconic Frenzy, Crushing Despair. Oh no, they usually do have a lot more. Oh, those are if they're spellcasters. Right. Dragons in Pathfinder do not have innate spellcasting unless you, other than some basics, unless you apply additional rules found in a sidebar to make them casters. This one's not a caster. Not at all. He is big, he is beefy, he is not looking to cast. I'm tempted, though, to give him... Burst. Give me 1 second. I'm tempted to give him the ability Reflective Scales, but nah, that's not. Alright, we're cool. Let's look back up here. And under offensive abilities. Yeah, he'll still have a Frightful Presence. It'll be a little lower. It'll be a 26. And that's fine. He'll have Attack of Opportunity with Jaws only. That is fine as well. He will have a Breath Weapon, but the Breath Weapon is going to do 5d6 fire? Yeah, it'll do 66 fire damage and 66 smelt damage. I'm going to call it smelt. Actually, let's just say it does 11d6 smelt damage. Can't use breath one again for wizards. Okay, that's fine. Now we need to give him a special ability. Smelt. And I'm fine just having this be a quick, easy monster like this because, frankly, I spent a lot of time on the news because I couldn't do the show last week because of my arm. It was some real bad, I want to say carpal tunnel, not 100%, some kind of nerve damage for my neck all the way down to my fingers. I can still feel it, but it made trying to do a show last week way too difficult. So we're going to give this the smelt ability. What this is going to be is having ingested and having consumed, specializing in consuming gold, this rare variation of, this is not a general ability, this is offensive ability, this rare variation of red dragon literally oozes valuable gold with its breath weapon and bite. We're going to take that off wings. With its breath weapon and bite. So the idea here is that this dragon literally, it's a little more nomadic than normal red dragon. So it has to kind of ingest its gold and it spews it out. It spews it out of its fangs instead of fire. It spews it out as a breath weapon. It is literally melted gold. Specializing in consuming melted gold. In consuming and melting gold. In melting and consuming gold. There we go. Melting and consuming gold. This rare variation of red dragon literally oozes red hot. Yeah, sure. Red hot liquid gold. All right, so how are we going to word this? Each time the gold span, when the gold span dragon deals smelt damage, half the damage dealt is fire, and the other half even be mental? No, that doesn't make any sense. So red hot, burning, melted fire on you, bludgeoning, I suppose. And the other half is... God, I almost want to make my own damage type here. Let's look over the damage types really quick. So what do we have here? We got fire, force, positive, energy traits, positive, sonic, air, cold, acid. Oh, is melting... no, not quite. It kind of would be in Starfinder, though, wouldn't it? Damage types. I think it would just be fire with a special ability added to it. Yeah, I think we're going to do that, which is going to make this a lot easier to read. Okay, so I'm going to change this to just do fire damage on its jaws and its breath weapon. And this is going to say plus smelt. Plus smelt. Specializing in melting and consuming gold, this rare variation red dragon literally oozes red hot and consuming its horde. This rare variation dragon literally oozes red hot liquid gold. When the gold span dragon deals smelt damage, half the damage dealt is fire. When the goldspan dragon successfully deals fire damage with its jaw strike, or breath weapon, the target makes a DC 30 basic reflex save. Or breath weapon, sorry, comma, it consumes... How many d6s is this thing usually doing per round? 11. We want it to be able to do this at least 4 times in a combat, so 1,000 divided by 11 is 90. We'll say 100. 90 divided by 4 would be 25. We're gonna shortcut this to 20. Alright, so when the Goldspan Dragon successfully deals fire damage with his Jaw Strike or Breath Weapon, it vomits, emulses, it ejects 20 gold pieces worth of gold. If able. A target, a creature damaged, 20 gold pieces worth of gold per d6 per die of fire damage dealt. Alright, it ejects up to 20 gold pieces worth of melted gold per die of fire damage dealt. A creature damage must make a DC, we're going to say 20 basic reflex save. Increase the DC of this save by 1 for every 20 gold pieces worth of gold ejected. Alright, cool. So with this, it has kind of a pool of gold inside of its belly that it's literally ejecting on people when it uses bite or jaws or breath weapon. As it does, it can use these charges to inflict additional statuses if they don't get that reflex save. So, what will we have here? So success. All right. So let's a basic reflex save. All right. Let's start with the failure effect. Failure. The creature is immobilized. How do they word it on spiders with webs in 2e? Anyone here remember? Like the hunting spider has a web trap. Yeah, here we go. The creature is immobilized and stuck to the nearest surface until it escapes. DC equal to the DC of smelt. Let's say DC 18 plus 1 for every 20 GP. Every 20 gold pieces ejected. Alright, so failure. The creature is immobilized until it escapes. The creature takes 1 persistent fire damage for each gold piece for every 20 gold pieces ejected. Critical failure. As failure, plus the creature but increase the persistent fire damage to 2 for every 20 gold pieces ejected. There we go. And, oh, actually, ooh, you don't like his critical failure here? As failure, but the target's held weapons are coated in gold. I like that. because the dragon has resist 13 gold. So he could actually coat you in gold. Actually, I like that as the failure effect. Let's get the critical failure, the persistent damage. So let's do this. I shouldn't say the target, I should say the creatures, because Breath Weapon is an area effect that doesn't target. The creatures' held weapons are coated in gold. The creatures' weapons and body are coated in gold. Are coated in gold. Great. As failure, but the creature's held weapons and body the creature's held weapons are coated in gold. Let's just say that. Any GM if you're playing a monk and you get hit by this, the GM's gonna be like, yeah, your fists are in gold too. Great. So critical failure. As failure, but the creature takes 1 persistent fire damage for every 20 gold pieces ejected. Great. And success. As failure, but only one only one weapon but only one item is covered in gold. That feels like it makes the success still too good. Because it's still as failure. But the DC to escape is 18, is 20, is 18, and only one item is covered in gold. Okay, let me make sure I wrote this right. When the Goldspan Dragon successfully deals fire damage with its Jaw Strike or Breath Weapon, it ejects up to 20 gold pieces worth of melted gold per die of fire damage dealt. Creature damage makes a DC 20 basic reflex save. Increase the DC of the save by 1 for every 20 gold pieces worth of gold ejected. Alright, I need to put, if at least 20 gold was ejected, all creatures that take fire damage. This way, if you have resistance above 11d6, yeah, fine, whatever. You have no melted gold on you, and you're a freak. Apologies to any immune to fire PCs out there, but how are you immune to fire at level 10? Whatever. We can talk about that later. Smelt. Should this have traits? I'm going to give this Earth Fire. Cool. And there we have it. A Goldspan Dragon. It breathes fire. It bites fire. It breathes gold. It bites gold. It is gold. It resists gold. And it makes your stuff covered in gold. I need to give this fire resistance too. This is bugging me that doesn't have fire resistance. Adult red dragons normally have... And, oh, it needs weakness too. Thank you, thank you. It needs weakness. So let's go under resistance. Normally these are immune to fire. So immunities, fire, paralyzed, sleep, +1 status to all saves versus magic. So apparently there are some things that aren't imported properly. When you use the monster import on PF2 tools, that's fine. It's still saved a lot of time. Weaknesses, cold 15. Cold 15? Wow, that thing does have 15. You know, I like weaknesses and resistances matching. It makes it easier to remember. So let's give this thing resistance gold 15. Ha! It has resistance gold 15 and weakness cold 15. That is so dumb. And I love it. And I hope someone else out there loves it too. So here we go have it. Goldspan Dragon. It's a red dragon with Smelt. I'm going to put Smelt higher up here. Simply because I can. And that way you will see it first when you look at this here monster. Wow, I hate that formatting right there though. Alright, so I will be posting this social media. Thanks for joining me. Usually, if this is your first time seeing this show, usually we spend all the time on the Booster Bestiary, but I had 2 weeks worth of news or a week's worth of news I had to catch everybody up on, so this one did run a little long. Thank you for coming though. Again, tomorrow at 6 p.m. we have painting with No Direction on the No Direction Discord. So check it out. Geek Together, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It's going to be absolutely great. Get those miniatures primed to advance. Get your cameras ready so we can see all the glory that is. Even if you don't have a camera, just check. Just it's fun to be around other people doing the same thing as you. Just nice to talk. So thank you again for showing up. Had a lovely time. Really needed this. Everybody, please have a safe and great week today, and stay safe, stay smart.